If you're eating this vegetable every day because you think it's keeping you healthy, I need you to stop and watch this video right now. Because what I'm about to share with you is something that most brain specialists will never bring up in a routine checkup, and it may be silently working against the very thing you're trying to protect: your memory, your sharpness, and your ability to live independently for years to come. I'm Dr. Arthur Wells, and in my years studying brain health and cognitive aging, I have seen patterns that conventional medicine keeps glossing over. Today, I'm going to reveal one of the most shocking of those patterns, one that involves a vegetable that millions of older Americans eat almost every single day, fully believing it is one of the best things they can put in their body. And for most people under 50, it might be fine. But if you are over 60, the story changes completely. And what happens to your brain overnight, while you sleep, is something you absolutely need to understand. Stay with me through this entire video, because I'm not just going to warn you about the danger. I'm going to walk you through exactly what you can do about it, starting as early as tonight. There are simple, practical swaps and habits you can adopt immediately, and by the end of this video, you will have a clear, concrete plan to protect your brain and defend your memory going forward. This is not about fear. This is about giving you the truth and the power that comes with it. So please, stay with me. Let's start with some numbers, because I want you to understand the scale of what we're dealing with. Right now, more than 6.7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. That number is expected to nearly double by the year 2050. But here's what rarely gets mentioned. Alzheimer's and dementia do not appear overnight. They are the result of years, sometimes decades, of slow, quiet damage building up inside the brain. Scientists now believe that the biological changes associated with memory loss can begin as many as 20 years before a person ever notices a single symptom. That means the choices you are making today, right now, including what you ate this morning and what you'll eat for dinner tonight, are already shaping what your brain will look like 10 years from now. If you're over 60, your brain is already working harder than it used to. The natural aging process slows down the brain's ability to clear out waste, repair damaged cells, and maintain the delicate chemical balance that keeps your thinking sharp and your memory strong. That doesn't mean decline is inevitable. It absolutely is not. But it does mean that your brain has less room for error than it did when you were 40. Things that were neutral for your brain a decade ago may now be actively harmful. And that is exactly the category that this common vegetable falls into for people in our age group. Now, according to data from the National Institute on Aging, nearly 1 in 3 seniors over the age of 65 will die with some form of dementia. 1 in 3. And among those who are 85 and older, the number climbs to nearly 1 in 2. These are not rare outcomes. These are mainstream realities that are quietly reshaping the lives of millions of families across this country. And yet the conversation about prevention, real, practical, dietary prevention, is still being kept out of most doctors' offices. That is what we're here to change today. So let's talk about the vegetable. The one I'm referring to is spinach. Now before you close this video and say, "Wait, spinach is a superfood. I've been told my whole life that spinach is good for me." I understand that reaction completely. And in many ways, spinach is genuinely nutritious. It has iron, it has folate, it has antioxidants. For younger people and for those without certain risk factors, spinach can be a healthy part of a balanced diet. But here's what the mainstream health conversation is leaving out. And this is the part that matters enormously for anyone over 60. Spinach is one of the highest dietary sources of something called oxalates. These are naturally occurring compounds found in many plant foods, but spinach contains them in exceptionally high concentrations. Oxalates, in large amounts, bind to certain minerals in your body, particularly calcium and magnesium, and prevent your body from absorbing them properly. Now, why does that matter for your brain? Because magnesium is one of the most critical minerals for neurological function. It plays a direct role in regulating the receptors in your brain that control learning and memory. It helps protect the brain's synapses, those tiny connection points between brain cells, from being damaged. And when your magnesium levels drop, even subtly, the effects on memory and cognition can be significant, and they can happen fast. But that's not the worst part. When you eat a large amount of spinach, the kind of amounts that are popular in green smoothies, big salads, and those trendy super green bowls, your body processes those oxalates through the kidneys. And for many older adults, especially those who already have reduced kidney efficiency, which is extremely common in people over 60, this creates a burden that the body is increasingly unable to handle well. Excess oxalates don't just pass through harmlessly. They can accumulate. They have been found in blood vessels, in kidney tissue, and alarmingly, in brain tissue as well. A growing body of research now suggests that oxalate accumulation in neural tissue may contribute to inflammation, oxidative stress, and disruption of normal brain cell function. These are precisely the types of damage that have been linked to accelerated cognitive decline. And here's the part that should really get your attention. Most of this damage happens at night. During sleep, your brain runs a kind of biological cleaning cycle. Waste products and inflammatory compounds are supposed to be flushed out of the brain while you rest. But when oxalate-related inflammation is present, that cleanup process is interrupted. Night after night, silently. And slowly, the buildup begins. This means that if you're eating a large spinach salad or a green smoothie with spinach every day, you may actually be going to bed each night with your brain under a level of chemical stress you never knew was happening. And your doctor almost certainly hasn't mentioned this, because oxalate toxicity in the context of brain health is not yet part of standard medical training. Most physicians simply have not caught up with this research. That is not me criticizing doctors. That is just the reality of how slowly new nutritional science makes it into clinical practice. Now let me be very clear, because I want to respect your intelligence. I am not saying that eating spinach once in a while will destroy your brain. That is not the message here. The warning is specifically about high-frequency, high-quantity consumption of raw spinach, which is exactly the pattern that has become incredibly common among health-conscious older adults who are doing everything they think is right. If that sounds like you, please keep watching, because what I'm about to share next is genuinely empowering. What your doctor also isn't telling you is that there are specific ways to dramatically reduce the oxalate load of spinach and similar vegetables, and there are equally nutritious, brain-friendly alternatives that carry none of these risks. Let's go through them clearly, because you can start implementing these changes tonight.
First, if you choose to eat spinach, always cook it. This is critical. Cooking spinach, steaming, sautéing, or boiling it, and then draining the liquid breaks down a significant percentage of the oxalates. Research shows that boiling spinach and discarding the cooking water can reduce its oxalate content by as much as 30 to 87%, depending on the study and the cooking method. Raw spinach in smoothies or salads gives you the full oxalate hit. Cooked spinach, drained properly, is a very different story. Second, stop putting raw spinach in your morning smoothie every day. This single habit may be one of the most well-intentioned and yet most quietly harmful things that health-conscious older adults are doing right now. The blending process actually breaks down the plant's cell walls and makes those oxalates even more bioavailable, meaning your body absorbs more of them, faster. If you love your morning green drink, swap raw spinach for romaine lettuce, butter lettuce, or cucumber. These greens are genuinely low in oxalates, full of hydration and nutrients, and completely safe for daily use without the same risks. Third, look into adding magnesium back into your diet deliberately and consistently. This is a breakthrough move for brain health in older adults. Dark chocolate, the real kind, with 70% cacao or higher, is a wonderful source of magnesium. So are pumpkin seeds, avocado, bananas, and fatty fish like salmon and mackerel. These foods actively support the brain's memory and learning systems in ways that are well documented and well established. You can start eating more of these tonight. Fourth, if you're concerned about magnesium depletion, speak with your doctor about testing your levels. A simple blood test can give you a baseline. Many older adults are low in magnesium and don't know it because the symptoms, mild forgetfulness, trouble sleeping, occasional mental fog, are so easy to dismiss as just getting older. They are not inevitable. They are often correctable. Fifth, drink more water throughout the day, especially if you've been eating foods high in oxalates. Proper hydration supports kidney function, helps flush oxalates from the body more efficiently, and is one of the single most underused brain protective strategies available to everyone, completely free, starting right now. And finally, consider replacing some of your spinach-heavy meals with dark, leafy greens that carry significantly lower oxalate loads while still being nutritionally rich. Arugula, kale, bok choy, collard greens, and Swiss chard are all excellent options that give your brain the folate, antioxidants, and plant compounds it needs, without overwhelming your system with oxalates. These are not sacrifices. These are upgrades. Here is what I want you to walk away from this video knowing. You are not powerless against cognitive decline. The research is clear that lifestyle and dietary choices, made consistently over time, have a profound and measurable impact on how well your brain ages. And the most important thing you can do is be willing to question the habits that feel safe simply because they are familiar, or because someone told you they were healthy a long time ago. Information evolves, and the people who protect their brains most effectively are the ones who stay curious, stay willing to learn, and refuse to simply accept that memory loss is just part of getting old. You have more control than you've been led to believe. That is the most important thing I can tell you today. Now I need to ask you one favor. If you have a friend, a spouse, a sibling, or a parent who is over 60, and you know they're drinking green smoothies every morning or loading up on raw spinach salads, please share this video with them today. Not to scare them, but because they deserve to have this information. They deserve the same chance you now have to make a more informed choice for their brain and their future. If this video gave you something valuable, please hit that subscribe button right now, and make sure you tap the bell icon so you never miss what we put out on this channel. Every week we go deep on the kind of brain health information that isn't making it into your doctor's office yet, and you can be among the first to know it. Thank you for trusting me with your time and with your health today. I'll see you in the next one.